Oh, this is gnarly. I'm gonna try this again, but I think I know what happened. Uh, so uh, the problem is when you're streaming from Russia, it's pretty risky just because of the connection. It's pretty risky just because of the location that you're in. I don't know. But I didn't do anything. I was just trying to give a little conversation here about the Russian ruble, give my opinion on it because there is a lot of talk from people outside of Russia that it is collapsing. So what I wanted to do was bring to you the market, show you what's been happening, and this way you guys can get your own perspective. Also, if you're planning on visiting Russia, obviously right now would probably be the best time if you want to be a tourist, because for $1 you're essentially getting $2 compared to what you would be getting maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, on the trend that is happening now. If you're rejoining, thank you so much for your support. And Semper Fi to all my Marine Corps brothers out there, all the leathernecks, all the devil dogs. We're going to give it a second here to give people a second to try to rejoin. I hope that my voice can be heard. I hope that the camera is not so blurry. We are just going to stream. We're going to be doing what we were going to do. So let's get started again. If you're rejoining, I'm sorry. I didn't do anything wrong. We were going on through the video and it just decided to turn off on us. So let's take a look on what happened. So I want you to see what happened on the other screen. Was that when I was trying to show you guys exactly what the market was looking like, it says Google Finance is currently unavailable as some international data providers no longer support your region. So we knew that was going to happen, right? That was one of the problems that I encountered. It essentially said, look, we're not going to let you look at the ruble. And this video is basically all about talking about the Russian ruble. So let's continue here. I found one website that might be able to allow us to look at the ruble and the market. So we do have a little bit less viewers, which makes me sad because I really wanted to cover this topic to some people who are interested in Russia and people who are interested in visiting Russia, and this is really important for those type of people. So it's not a problem. Let's look at it now. I hopped onto the Bloomberg website. I'm also hoping now that you can actually see the screen. Hopefully it's also clear. At today's market, you can get for $1 104 rubles. Now, I mentioned earlier that just because it's at the world market, it's not what you can get yourself, but there's many people who can trade it for 102, 101, 100 rubles. That's still amazing, because if you compare it to the old days, even 5 years, you're going to see that your dollar is actually worth way more. Now, the reason why I'm calling it collapsing is because I'm countering that idea. We're going to get into that a little bit later. If you're joining because you're seeing collapsing of the ruble, this is an actual conversation that happens on the world scale. But you're going to get the perception from an American. So let's go back to the market here. And what I wanted to show you, something that really caught my attention, is when we went up to 1 month, you still saw it here in the 90s, right? Then we went to 6 months and we saw a trend, because in May, we were starting to get that visual like, hey, here it is. We're like almost essentially to the mid-year and we're already getting views that, hey, this might hit 100 again. If you don't know, the ruble has been going up and down in this fashion, obviously since the conflict started, but not just since the conflict started, because if you go as back as 2014, when the sanctions started, it started fluctuating, okay? So just keep that in mind, that even in May and in June, we were looking at around 90 to the mid 80s range, okay? This was in the May. This is when not even half the year is already here. So before I show you what it was at like in a year, I want to tell you why I put collapsing or crashing. Because in reality, the Russian people have been living in Russia obviously all their lives. And if you have a Russian, say like my wife Ksenia, and you ask her how was it in the year 2000, how was the ruble in the year say 2010, they remember when $1 was 20 rubles, okay? We're having this conversation as grown-ups, guys. We're looking at the market now 20 years after the year 2000. I understand it's going to fluctuate a lot. We're going to have our ups and downs. But I want you to understand that people here in Russia remember when $1 used to be 20 rubles, 30 rubles, 40 rubles was a lot for them. So the market and inflation and all of those things were much different back then. I understand. But remember, the jump 20 rubles was a lot for Russians. But in the last 2 years that I've lived in Russia, I've seen the ruble gone from 60 even, 60 rubles to over 110 rubles for $1. Why I'm telling you this is because it's not actually crashing according to people that live here. It's just really huge adjustments going on. So let's look at the year now. Let's look at the year. And if you're finding this to be interesting, please consider hitting like. I'm going to be making a full video about this, and I really appreciate your support. Here's the year. So you can already tell that it seems to be absolutely average here. It's been for 1 year hovering around 90. Actually in the low 80s or high 80s to 90s. What does that say? You know, when they told us last year that the ruble was going to collapse, it was actually huge news. Last year, the Western countries reported on this collapse much harder than they are doing it this year. I wonder why. I wonder why now this year it's not really being talked about. Why I'm talking about it is that so that you know that the people here in Russia have adjusted to the dollar being from 80 to 110 rubles. Like the economy can essentially survive through 80 to 110 rubles. I wouldn't be surprised if it spiked all the way up to 120. Now I'm not an economic, like I didn't learn economy. Economics is not my strong point, but like real life in Russia is now my strong point. Let's move it up to 5 years. Let's look at it for 5 years so you get an understanding what Russia's been living through. And take this into consideration, guys. And I'm sorry that I'm changing the camera again. I'm going to slow down, and I want you to understand and really take it into consideration that this is the lives of a country that's been sanctioned since 2014. I am not Russian. I don't have allegiance to Russia. I live in Russia. My wife is Russian. So the way I will speak is through the eyes of a foreigner who has gotten to see what the people must live through in the last 2 years, almost 3 years going on now. When I show you the 5 years market of the ruble, you have to remember that these people have to live through it, have to live through the sanctions, because the sanctions started in 2014. Let's go. So, here we go. This is in November 2019. The ruble is at 64 rubles per dollar. Okay? Only 5 years ago. Obviously, if we go further back, it's going to be much lower. Hopefully you guys can see this on the screen here. It's at 64 in November. 5 years ago exactly, we can't get, but we can get roughly almost to 5 years exactly, off by 5 days. So let's take a little pause here and say, okay, 5 years ago, it was 64 rubles for the dollar. Now, we know that the sanctions started in 2014 with the incident in Crimea and all these things. And I'm not going to get political. We're only talking about the cost, right? So in 2019, we had this. This is 3 years before the conflict in Ukraine. Before we continue, good evening. So people are asking if the lower number, the better. If the value of your currency compared to the other world's currencies, again, I didn't learn economics in school, but it's the value of your coin. Obviously, the lower the better compared to the rest of the money from other countries. You don't want your money being billions for one, right? This makes absolutely no sense. But what I'm trying to tell you is how the Russian economy has adjusted and how the people have adjusted through the sanctions. After I show you, the comparison between 5 years ago to just 2 years ago when the conflict started, then you're going to get an understanding of this. This is no collapse. Let's go. And remember to tell me if you could even see what's on the screen. So on March 4th, 2022, this was maybe 1 month, a little bit like 1 month after the conflict started, that the ruble reaches an all-time high of 134, right? So 134 rubles for your dollar in March 2022. The government of the Russian Federation did a major adjustment, and January, February, March, April, May, June, 3 months later, it would go down to 54 rubles for the dollar. So we've seen this trend where it's gone really high up when something happens, maybe something on the news, new sanctions happen. This is the beginning of the conflict. Remember, 5 years ago, it's at 60. And then it kind of, before the conflict, rises up to 70s, right? And right before the conflict, it's stuck at 70 rubles. This is prior to the conflict, but still under sanctions from the Crimean conflict. So Russia has been sanctioned since 2014. Now it spikes up to 130 rubles, but Russian government does an adjustment and it really plummets down to 50 rubles. More sanctions talks happens. The news talks about more sanctions. The conflict continues. Russia has to stabilize its economy once again. And there you see the trend go right back up. 2023, actually, the economy in Russia, I remember because I was living here, did a huge adjustment, guys. Like in 2023, you kind of felt normality because it went super crazy. Now, I remember in 2023, we were like, wow, the ruble was really high. Prices actually went up. This is not for me to say that Russia was doing bad economic wise. We still had everything. This is when all the people were talking about only sanctions in their videos. If you look back to the late 2022, even in 2023, people were talking about sanctions still, which to me, it made no sense because I understood that Russia had been doing this since 2014. So, before we continue and before I talk about why you should visit Russia now, because your dollar is worth so much more. I know that right now is the perfect time to invest in Russia. I want people to ask me questions. So I'm on another program, so I can't highlight your question right now on the screen. So I will just be reading them off. What kind of adjustment did the Russian government make? So when the ruble, what I've noticed, when the ruble became really weak because of the sanctions, because Russia had lost so much of its market to Europe and all these things, what it did to adjust was open another market in Africa, open another market with the Asian countries, and strengthen the ruble by way of BRICS. Because the BRICS, I guess, little environment there, the BRICS governments, the countries that make up BRICS, and the new countries that make up BRICS can really hold up the Russian ruble through trade and through agreements that, hey, by the way, we will continue to not only trade in the ruble, but we will open up more trade with Russia. So what Russia did essentially is trade its, well, no pun intended, it traded its old partners for new partners, and it strengthened the capacity of BRICS through new membership and through new deals with the BRICS countries. And by the way, this is just me saying from what the things that I've noticed. Again, I didn't go to school for economics, but it's what I've noticed while I've lived in Russia, because BRICS has been playing a major role in the Russian society. There's many BRICS summits taking place inside of Russia. There's many BRICS universities being opened in Russia. So that's just strengthening the relationship between the countries. So, hello, at the same time, Russia has produced a lot of things themselves. Yes, so obviously Russia is producing a lot of things by itself. And when you talk about adjustment, a lot of the Western companies left. But they left, again, they left Russia, but they left behind so much of their production plants. There's so many things that the Russians actually kept, and they're using to manufacture their own things. There's no way that countries can leave Russia and take buildings, take manufacturing plants. So this question is just being, I'm just continuing to answer your question. Essentially, this is another thing that they did to support their economy. Russian built, Russian produced, that is what happened. So let's look at this. 1 second again. I'm going to be looking at the 5 years again for you guys, so you can see where it's trending now, right? Because this conversation is talking about the Russian collapse. In the West, they're going to call this a collapse of the ruble, when in reality, it's just an adjustment for the ruble. Remember, Russia is in a major conflict against perhaps the Western world. So I'm going to see the question by Michael. Daniel, when do you think BRICS will be able to revalue to a fair rate amongst the BRICS partners, including the Global South? So I guess what I believe, I'll answer this question from what I believe. I believe that the BRICS has a long way to go. There's nothing that could happen with BRICS before the conflict in Ukraine ends between Russia and Ukraine. There's not going to be any actual major development with BRICS because Russia right now is in a major conflict. So right now, brother, there's no actual plans. I guarantee you, even if BRICS speaks about it, it cannot do anything while one of its major players is in a major conflict. Russia itself wants to get out of that conflict eventually and prosper. So we're going to have to wait and see when we talk about BRICS. I hope that makes sense. We just have to wait for the conflict to end. On the graph here, you can see that as we're heading into November, which it had the similar trend here. towards the end of the year, you see. July came and then October came. In 2021, towards the end of the year, it really started to kind of get up high here. You can't see it because this 2022, when the conflict really went up, you can't really tell. But towards the end of the year, there's actually going up from 70 to 75, right? So the spike happens. Let's look towards the end of the year here again. It went up in the middle of the year, actually towards the end, from August in 2023 to October. That's when we broke 100 again last year in October. And check this out. Here we're on September, October. And right before the end of October, we almost hit 100 again. We would hit 100 in November 15, right? So 15 days off, basically. So what the market here is showing you, that the ruble, since the conflict, goes up and it settles, goes up and it settles. The Russian government does a huge job. I have no idea how it does it. People who study economics understand how they do it. But for us people living here in Russia, we've noticed this trend, right? I've been living in Russia since essentially the beginning of this conflict, and I've seen it go up and then it stabilizes. But it doesn't never stay at such a high rate. And I'm guaranteeing you that it will go higher than 104. I just feel that it will go higher than 104. It's just going to perhaps go up to 110, 120. I actually am predicting it right now that it's going to be at those levels and it's going to come back down. It's not a collapse. It is just what's happening right now. Russia is in a conflict, in a huge conflict, not only against Ukraine, but the rest of the world's economies. So what I want to say now is, if you plan on visiting Russia and you like winter, visit now. Now is the time to visit Russia. Now is the time to visit Russia because your dollar, if you're going to be a tourist, you're going to be able to splurge. And this is going to offend so many people, guys. But that's just how it works. Russians themselves go to Thailand because their ruble is worth more. They go to Thailand, Vietnam. But what I'm telling you guys, Europeans, Americans, Australians, if you want to experience a Russian winter and go and have winter sports, now is the time for you to do it. Don't wait for the dollar to be adjusted next year or in 2-3 years. If you want to visit Russia, it's totally normal here. You know, you're not going to be involved in politics. You're not going to be in danger. This is actually a safe place. With the ruble being worth so much compared to the dollar, this is really a win for the people who want to come and visit from other countries. I would bet if you have vacation for a month or two that you would actually enjoy Russia way more with having more money to spend, especially if you're used to winters. So let's take a few more questions here. Yeah, so this is a really good point about experiencing Russia. So experiencing Russia in winter is a totally different thing than coming in any other time. Russia is two different countries in these two seasons. And I really hope that people take this opportunity. If you're listening to me now and you wanted to visit Russia, visit now. Another thing, if you plan on moving to Russia in the future, if you already invest in Russia by turning your dollars or your euros into rubles right now, you're going to see huge gains, guys. Like, the value of the ruble compared to the dollar is going to go down again. So if you're trying to invest in property, just wait. The property may crash. Like, properties in Russia may be going up, but in the next few months, they may be coming down. So right now is going to be a win-win situation for you guys. You're going to have a lot of benefits in visiting Russia in the next 3 to 4 months. This is how it happened last year. And this is how it happened in 2022. Y para los mexicanos es difícil obtener la visa. So Victor is asking if Mexicans can visit Russia if it's easy. It's absolutely easy for Mexicans to visit Russia. I'm going to say this next part in Spanish. Es absolutamente fácil para que obtengas la visa para visitar a Rusia. Simplemente tienes que meterte al internet y agarras una visa electrónica. No necesitas aplicar en la embajada ni el consulado. Solamente vas a la... No tengo la página de web, pero sé que es algo que aplicas en esta página y te dan una visa electrónica. Tú la imprimes y llegas a Rusia con tu visa imprimida del internet. Es fácil, no pasa nada. So my advice to you guys is that your purchasing power right now is huge if you come to Russia. If you want to invest in Russia right now, is totally invest in the ruble right now. If you're into crypto and all that crazy stuff, your dollar will be worth so much right now. So that way you have something to come to, guys. If I'm telling you because of this. I'm telling you because of the following. Just to prove to you how much your dollar was worth when I came. Okay? I'm going to tell you the truth, guys. This is going to blow your mind. Please stay on the stream. And please do hit like, guys, so that more people can tune in. I am going to show you how my dollar was worth half one or a little bit over a year ago. This is going to blow your mind. This means that if I would have kept all of my money, if I would have had $5,000 and I would have kept them and not traded when I first arrived to Russia, I would have had $10,000. And in Russia, with $10,000, you can buy a house. You can buy property. I've made videos about this. I'm not trying to convince you guys about moving to Russia. I'm giving you the facts. Here we go. Check this out. So, I came to Russia here in April. I came to Russia in April. In April, the ruble was 76 per the dollar. But I didn't trade my money, guys. I didn't trade my money. I only traded about $1,000, right? When I first came to Russia, I was like, wait a minute. If I have to go back to the United States, I'm not trading this money. But as I realized that I was going to stay in Russia, I was like already in June. I stayed in Russia for 2 months. And at that time in June, it was worth 54 rubles. But that was in the world market. In June 2022, 2 years ago, it was worth 54 rubles. But look at this. Pay attention to this. What the market value is not what the banks are going to trade for. When I came to Russia and I waited 2 months, and to trade my money, they were giving me 50 rubles for the dollar, 49 rubles for the dollar. Fast forward to now, I can trade my dollar for 102 to 103 rubles. I know how to do it. I can trade it here. Essentially, from 2 years ago, my dollar doubled. Now, this does good for the economy in Russia, believe it or not, like it fluctuating and it finding its medium. But right now I'm talking about tourism and investment. If you are an investor, if you have the money, if you work in crypto, if you know how to do all of this stuff, believe me, right now, if I had my money from when I came, which was around $7,000, I wish I would have told myself, hey, this is how it works in Russia. It goes up and down, goes up and down. And it's been adjusting because of the conflict that it's having. Russia has been sanctioned since 2014, guys. The market has been going up and down. If your dream is to come to Russia, pay attention to the Russian ruble now. This live stream is to tell you how the Russian ruble works against the dollar. Pay attention to it if you want to visit Russia invest in the ruble first before you come. You may make so much more money. If you wanted to visit Russia, trade now. Yeah, so now I'm going to talk about what life is like for the normal Russian person. You should definitely keep it in an account because the Russian banks are very generous. You can get thousands of rubles a month just from having your money build interest. Now, I want to answer this question about can you get it? Okay, I'm going to answer a few questions on the live. Can you change your dollar on the black market and get a better rate? It's better not to do it on the black market. It's better to do it through crypto. You get better rates and it's much safer. This is what I've been told from people who have done both. The black market is illegal, but if you're trading currencies from your home countries, absolutely legal to own rubles. You can trade from your country, come to Russia and have rubles. I want to say something else about the economy here in Russia. You know, a lot of people are not transparent about this. Things in Russia have like the cost of living has gone up. And why I'm bringing this up is look guys, I'm in a new apartment. Ksenia and I moved out of my father-in-law's apartment. We're living in a new apartment and I'm going to go over prices. I have the prices. I saved the bills and I want to talk about prices. Now, I'm in a new apartment here. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour maybe, but for the most part, I need you to understand that prices have gone up in Russia, but they are still low enough to where you can enjoy it. So this is the new area where I'm going to be doing my videos. This is the new area where I'm going to be doing my streams. And, you know, let me fix the bed really quickly. I wanted to show you the cost of living in Russia, but I'm going to go bring the receipts, okay? Please, guys, stay online so you know the prices of things. You need to know that it's cheap, but it's not so cheap. It's going higher every year, but people's wages are going higher. But if you're a foreigner, this is absolutely not a problem for you. I'll be right back. Hopefully you can still hear me. Okay. Hello and welcome, my friends. If you're just tuning in, this live stream is a live stream talking about the Russian ruble and how the West is going to sell it as a collapse. But it's actually just normal here now. This is how we live. I have receipts from every time we've ever gone shopping in the last 3 weeks, I believe. We've gone shopping in the last 3 weeks and I've saved the receipts so that you understand how much we pay for groceries here. Okay, I'm going to give you the cost of groceries inside of Russia, and you can see this is not a few things. Like, this is a full list of things that we've actually bought. So here, before I give you guys the prices, I want to say hello to my mother who just said hello, guapo. That is my mother. Hola, ma, la quiero mucho. Estamos hablando sobre los precios de los mandados. Cuando vas a comprar los mandados a la tienda, estamos hablando de cuánto estás pagando por comprar lo que vas a comer. So here we go, guys. And I want you guys to please write I'm going to give you the price and you guys can divide it by 100. The ruble right now for the dollar is at 100. So please, somebody remember to put it on the chat for us. So this one is 1,189 rubles. So it's almost 1,200 rubles, which is basically $12, right? So let's just say 1,200 rubles. 1,200 rubles, that was the haul for 1 week. Oh, well, we eat for about 3 days. 3 days groceries there, okay? 3 days groceries, because I remember this was not a lot. This was not a lot. 3 days of food cost you about $12. That's one receipt. Okay, this one here was for about a whole week. This is 1,600 rubles. 1,600 rubles. So that's about $16. And with that amount of money, you can eat for about 4 to 5 days. The way we cook everything ourselves. We cook usually one meal for 2 days, and the following day we eat whatever is left over. This was 1,490 rubles. That is $15. So, one second, I'm gonna get a pen so we can add everything up. Okay, guys, so we're gonna add everything up. These are grocery bills, okay? These are grocery bills. Now, this one is 726 rubles, so that's about $8. Now, this one is huge. We bought eggs, we bought yogurt, we bought bread. In the future, I'll make a video of actually what we're buying, but this one is $7. So $7. Again, this one was 1,500 rubles. This one is $15. If you're tuning in right now, we're showing you guys what kind of a purchasing power you have, like what you can actually spend here. 1,600 rubles, $16. This is about 3 weeks of groceries. 1,200 rubles, that is $12. So I'm gonna add these up. This is my grocery list from, let's just say 2 weeks. That way it's a little bit clearer, because right now we're just finishing up the 3rd week. So we have 12, 16, 15, and 7. Okay. So it adds up to $50. I've spent $50 in the last 2 weeks in groceries. Okay, I spent $50, and I keep all my receipts, guys. These are all the receipts, and I'm going to continue to do it. So in the last 2 weeks, I've spent $50 in groceries. And when I tell you how much I pay for this apartment, because all of this, right now, all of this, I'm going to tell you how much I'm paying for this apartment. But by the way, this is 2 weeks of food. That was $50. Obviously, it's only myself and my wife. Now, before I show you the apartment, please, guys, please hit like. I don't want to sound like a beggar, but more people need to know this kind of stuff, because more people will want to visit Russia, and more people want to know the prices. So if you didn't know, I actually moved out of my apartment, and now we're in a new apartment. This is a true 2-bedroom apartment, and I'm about to show it to you in a second. I just hope that the connection is good. Yes. So we're almost at 100 likes, guys. Please hit like if you haven't already. I'm about to give you guys a house tour, and I'm going to give you a price of everything that we pay for. So we know now that it's about 100. We've spent $100. Let's say 125 a month for 125 for the month for groceries is pretty conservative. Okay, I'm gonna write this down. Just for people who like to eat outside, we'll do $150 a month on food. And right now, yes, Vanya, we're still building the house. So for about a month, I'm gonna keep doing this, guys. I need an actual notebook. I'm not gonna say $200 a month, but I'm gonna say $150 for food. And this is where you cook yourself, okay? My wife and I, you can tell how fat I am because we eat at home, okay? So I'm about to tell you how much we pay for this apartment. And I will be moving out of this apartment. I've rented it for 6 months, guys. Here goes. We're going to do the breakdown. I think we got to over 100 likes. Thank you so much. I'm going to break it down. Yes, we did it. Here it goes, guys. Here it goes. This house that I'm living in right now was furnished, has a full functioning kitchen. I've rented it for 6 months. The majority of the apartments in Russia will be furnished and will have Wi-Fi, electricity, water. It will have everything. This is the majority of the apartments that people rent. Also, you can rent it. They're very lenient. You can rent it for 6 months. You can rent it for a year. You can rent it indefinitely for as long as you live. Stay with me, chat, please. The contract that I've made is for 6 months. Why 6 months? Because then I'll move out. I will start building my house and I have to save more money, so I'll go back to my father-in-law's house. I'm going to take the camera away and I'm going to show you the majority of the apartment. I just want you to know that before I tell you the price, you guys are going to guess how much I'm paying for this apartment. Here we go. Here we go. This is going to be awesome. This is the new house reveal. 1 second. I'm just making sure it doesn't look too crazy over here. I wasn't planning on doing this. If you can hear me, then that means that the mic is working. But this was not in my plans. But because people are very interested in knowing about prices, I am really happy to do this for you guys because I feel like I owe it to you. I've talked about this so much. Here we go. All right. Now that's where I'm streaming from. Isn't that cool? Isn't that interesting? That's where I'm streaming from. That's my setup. I had to buy this recently. This was a small table that I bought. This is the main bedroom there. You see I have the bed where I sleep. This is how it looks. The couch. There's a couch here as well. Right? So this is the main bedroom. Keep in mind, I don't have the phone with me, so I'm now gonna do this without me seeing the chat. So if you have any questions, wait till I'm back and sitting here, okay? Here we go. But you guys can still talk amongst yourselves. Here we go. This was the main bedroom. It's very Russian style because, well, yeah. Here we go. This is the hallway when you come in. There you see the door. I have my jacket there. LA. Here's the second bedroom. Sorry, the mess, but this is the second bedroom. This is how it looks. You come from one room into the next room. There's not like the living room is actually basically this room in a Russian house, but it's a room in a Russian apartment. Russians build their apartments different. So you have one room, you have your other room, and then there's your kitchen. Man, this is crazy. Okay. Tell me if you can hear me, please, guys. Let me know if you could hear me. Hopefully, we're still on. Hopefully, we're still on. But, 11111 All right. Maybe we're good. Maybe we're good. Everybody, let me know if you can hear me again. Let me know because now we're getting to the real thing. Now this is it, guys. I tried to give you a tour. You know, yes, the Wi-Fi here is a little bit different because the design of the house is much different. I'm actually going to get a new router. I'm going to buy something to boost the signal so I could stream from anywhere in the house. Here we go. You know, it's a fully furnished apartment. I don't have to worry about a bed. I don't have to worry about buying anything for myself. We know this. So I want everybody to start guessing, and when I see it, I'll just tell you. I'll just tell you. So, whoa. Am I working? I'm lagging, aren't I? Hello? tell me if it's back to normal, guys. I'm not sure, but uh I'm kind of blown away right now from Vanya for the donation. It's so honestly, man, this is incredible. I don't know if it's back on, guys. If I'm having difficulties, okay. So look, I'm paying $200 a month. No, it's just I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. What's happening? Oh my God, what is this? Vanya, brother, please. I told you that the rent here was $200 a month. And essentially you've basically paid for us to stay here. Yeah, like literally this month is on Vanya. That's crazy, man. Gee whiz. Okay. Vanya, it's $200 a month. Um, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Oh, what's going on, man? Are you serious? Please, no more. Honestly, this. Can you come visit us, please? Come visit us. I mean, this apartment is basically yours for a month. You can stay here. I'll move in with my father-in-law again. Honestly, Vanya, if I don't know where you are, I don't know what's happening right now, but come and visit us. I'll leave this apartment for you. This is incredible, man. Um, honestly, I don't know what to tell you. That is crazy. I'm so grateful. I never expected this, man. Banya, I promise you, if you come from now until I have the contract for, which is 6 months, you can be my neighbor. I don't live far from here. You can save your money, come fly to Russia, and this apartment is yours. Like, I'm saying it live on stream. I'm saying it live on stream. This is it, man. You can come visit us. This is what you want. You can live in this place. But what I wanted to tell you guys, I'm blown away by this. This is crazy. My face hurts. Okay, people want to know what town I'm in. I'm living in Sliudanka. Vanya, wow. That's incredible. Like, man, I don't know where you're watching from. I don't know where you are. Please come and visit us, and you know that you have a place to stay. Okay, I just wanted to let you know that. We pay $200 a month for this place. But now I will tell you the rest. God, I got chills all over my body. Listen, guys, the electricity is included in the $200. The water is included in the $200. That is what I wanted to tell you guys. But Vanya, you broke my mind, man. I love you so much. I love you guys so much. It's just that is not something that you kind of expect. This is not something that you expect. To get your month paid for by a subscriber, that is incredible. I am paying $200 a month for this location. But the electricity is included. The electricity is included. The utilities is included on the $200. The internet is included. A lot of apartments in Russia will rent you the apartment with the electricity included, the water included, and the Wi-Fi included. This is standard for a lot of places. I live in Slyudanka. Yes, utilities included. Golly, I'm sorry guys, that really threw me off. So, I have here a list of how much we spend. Okay, so right now we're at $150 for food, $200 for rent, utilities included, everything's included. Now I'm gonna give you like miscellaneous. If we want to go out, if we have to buy something, it's about $100 a month, if that. Because I'm a very simple person. You know, I'm outside working sometimes when the weather is better, but usually it's about $100 a month. So if you add everything together, it's about $450 a month for everything. Okay? $450 a month for rent, for food, utilities, internet, for going outside and shopping from time to time. But I live in a small town. $400 a month, $450, sorry. $450 a month. Okay, now that I've said that, let's talk about, let's look at the ruble again. Man, Vanya, you broke me. I'm completely broken right now. Sorry if you're just joining the stream. We recently had donations of upwards to $300 on the stream, on live. Vanya was very generous. Okay. So yeah, I live in Slyudanka. I live in the next large city next to me is Irkutsk city. This is the city of Irkutsk. It is the capital. It is about 1 hour and 45 minutes away driving. Okay. Yes. So this entire conversation started because we were looking at Irina lives in Irkutsk. Здравствуйте, Irina. Привет. Thank you so much, guys. Listen, I appreciate the donations. Obviously, Vanya has been very generous already. I've told you and I've been transparent about the prices of living here. This man essentially paid my rent for a month. You know, if you want to donate, the link down below is on PayPal, guys. That is my PayPal link. It is very hard to talk right now. But anyways, thank you so much, Elite Trader. Yes, a beer is very inexpensive here. You're looking at about 86 cents because you can buy a decent beer for 86 rubles. Under 100 rubles, you can buy a beer here. So if you want to talk about prices, yes, you can buy a beer here for almost a liter of beer for about 86 cents. I don't know if you guys like to drink. I don't say that you should be drinkers, don't drink and drive. But if you want to go out and party, you're looking at about $1 to $1.20 for a beer. But at the store, you can get it for about 86 cents. You know now that the price of rent is about $200 to $400 a month. I live in a small town. Let's go back and look at this. Kailoma, thank you so much. I really appreciate the donations because I am an American, but I am living in Russia. And I want you guys to know, I'm going to break it to you. I'm going to break some news. We have 100 and maybe 80 people watching. I have breaking news for you guys that I didn't want to break, but you guys know that when I make lives, I give exclusive news. Here it goes. Here it goes, guys. So on the last video that I made, there was a generous man who sent $1,000 on PayPal. He says, I watch your channel and I see that you help people. Can you please see what you can do with the $1,000? The $1,000 was not for me. It was to help people in my community. There's gonna be a future video. Where I actually collaborate with an orphanage in Russia to donate money and help a family out to fix their home. This is only exclusive news on the live because you guys have been generous with me. You've been giving me an audience, and now I want to give back to the people that live next to me. I'm not one of those channels that takes money to give to people, right? But this very generous person, who I will talk about in the future video, gave $1,000, and that $1,000 will be given, distributed with child services inside of Russia. Breaking news, this is what's going to happen. I've collaborated with an orphanage. I'm going to be helping families who adopted kids inside of Russia. So we can do this because actually the cost of life is so much cheaper here in Russia that with $1,000, now you know that rent here for me was $200. Just imagine what I'm going to do with $1,000. So that is another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys. My life here in Russia has changed dramatically because obviously we're doing these YouTube videos and we are earning dollars. And I told you for $1 right now you can get about 100 rubles. So the life for me, I am not living perhaps as comfortable as I would be living in the United States, only because I miss my mother and my family. I am not comfortable living in Russia as much as I would be living in my home country, only because I miss my mother. But I have absolutely everything else that I need. I have a wife that I love. I have a father-in-law who I adore and love, a brother-in-law here in Russia, a community of friends in Russia, and I want more people to experience that. This is why this live stream is happening, because if you come now, you can get more bang for your dollar. Thank you, brother. And Michael, I know you're going to come to Russia. Like, this is one of our subscribers that is going to come to Russia. And he is going to maybe start a new life here if he wants. And he's going to have my full support. Anybody who comes obviously has my full support. But I'm so grateful for you guys that you're actually watching. I think the Wi-Fi is good enough to show you what it looks like right now. We've actually hit winter. And, well, if you're used to being in the snow, I want you to look what it looks like outside now. Okay, well, we are in winter, but look how sunny it is. Okay, look at the mountains have lost their leaves. Okay, but there's snow on the ground, but it's very sunny. This is very Siberian. This is so Siberian. In Siberia, we get so much more sunlight than everywhere else in the world. We are really blessed. We are really blessed. I want to talk about this particular apartment that you're seeing right now. Goodbye, brother. Goodbye. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys want to visit Lake Baikal, now this apartment that I'm living in the summer, it is rented for tourists. It is rented for people who want to visit. So just know that in the future, if anybody wants to visit Lake Baikal or wants to see Irkutsk, come to Irkutsk. We have Irina right now watching. Irina, thank you so much for watching. You are our neighbor. You know how much beauty Irkutsk has. Just know that Irkutsk Oblast has so much to see. I live here. I don't live in Moscow. I don't live in St. Petersburg. I'm not a city slinger. Like I'm a country boy. I'm like a country boy. I'm sorry, but yeah. This is my life. I'm a country boy style guy. So if you come to Irkutsk, you're going to have perhaps the country is lifestyle where you can go see outdoors, but we have a beautiful city in our capital. So guys, please ask some questions. Mr. G, can Venezuelans work in Russia? Right now, there's huge opportunities for you guys to get jobs in Russia because Russia actually needs more people. So if you apply for a business visa or a work visa, high chances that you will be able to get it. Yeah, Altai, here in Irkutsk, we have essentially we have what we have in Altai. Altai is not so special in a sense that all of Russia is beautiful, right? And Altai just gets so much attention for some reason, but Irkutsk region is top. I'm not talking about, I don't want to talk down on the other regions, but come on, Altai is not the only natural wonder. We have a natural wonder of the world, which is Lake Baikal here in Irkutsk. I am dreaming of becoming a Russian citizen. Vanya, I promise you, we will be snowboarding as well this year. This year, I will be making videos of me trying to snowboard. I've already tried ice skating. It's very hard for me. I have connections with the immigration agency, but in the future, if they don't do a good job, I will be starting my own way of helping you guys. Obviously, it's going to cost money because all it costs is just the time, right? But I've made videos of how you can get visas and I made it for free. And I put it online for you guys to watch. You guys just have to be able to tune into the videos that I make showing you guys how to do these things. Because unlike other channels, I'm very transparent about prices and how you do things. I think that I'm a little bit too honest. My wife kind of gets mad at me for telling the truth and showing where I live, and a lot of people don't do that, but I'm not really scared of anything. I think that's the problem. Semper Fi, I think that's the problem, that I've been through a lot of conflict in my life, that if you want to come and give me problems, I will face them head on, but you know where I live, and it's not so hard to find me. We're going to go dog sledding this year too, guys. We're going to be dog sledding. But I want to get back to the main subject of this live, because I feel like I owe it to the new people who are just tuning in, the new people who perhaps have never seen this channel. I want to show them one more time why we're talking about the ruble. On our graph, we mentioned that in 2022, when the conflict started, it reached an all-time high of 134 rubles. But the Russian government stabilizes, and then it rose back to 90, and now we're reaching 104 rubles. This is not a collapse. This is not a collapse by any means, guys. This right now is essentially what Russia's been going through for the last, I'd say, 10 years since the Ukrainian, Crimean Russian conflict, right? This is something that happens in Russia over and over again because it's been through sanctions for the last 10 years. If you guys see news that the economy is collapsing, this is not so yet. I am telling you the truth, guys. The economy is not crashing yet. Can it crash? Yes. Will it crash? Probably not. But the economy can crash in the United States. The economy can crash anywhere else. I am here to let you know that the ruble right now is being devalued. The value of the ruble has gone down, which means that $1 will get you more than 100 rubles. If something is to happen, I will be the first to report it, I promise you. Because no other channel right now is telling you that the ruble is at over 100, right? So right now, if you're not anti-Russia, and you're watching this stream, just know that yes, we are experiencing a very weak ruble right now, which means that the $1 will give you over 100. But please, guys, do not be scared to come visit Russia. Okay, please do not be scared to come visit Russia. I don't want you to be in fear just because of the prices. I'm going to read to you. I'm going to read something to you very important. Okay? This is how the Western media shows. Here we go. Check this out. Tell me if you can read it. I'll put myself somewhere else. Okay? We're going to look at an article that was published 5 days ago. I want you to read it with me so you understand how the two sides play this. So it says Russian ruble falls to 100 per dollar in official exchange rate. Yes, this everybody knows that. Russia's central bank set the ruble's official exchange rate at over 100 to the dollar for Wednesday, marking the first time the currency has slipped past the symbolic threshold in more than a year. This is true. So far, this article is telling the truth, right? Wednesday's rate pegged at 100 rubles per dollar, reflecting nearly 19% devaluation since Ukraine's surprise incursion in the Russian Kursk region in August 6th. This is where I start to have problems, guys. This is where I begin to have problems with the way things are narrated and things are spoken about. Because what does that have anything to do with the ruble, right? They want to tie it, for some weird reason, the news always wants to tie it like, oh, Ukraine does this to Russia and now the ruble is burning. So this is why I'm trying to tell you that they make it such a crisis and they tie it to like random events. They just had to put it there, right? Why didn't they just say a date? No, they had to mention that Ukraine went into Russia and all these things are happening. So let's continue reading. These are the problems that I have. Hopefully you guys can read it with me because I am not sure what you guys are watching on the screen. So, here we go. And now the next portion. The ruble's latest drop follows President Vladimir Putin's decision to lower Moscow's nuclear strike threshold after the U.S. gave Kiev permission to fire long-range missiles at targets inside of Russia. Again, they're tying something that means nothing in Russia. Like the economy, they're trying to tie it to the conflict way more than it should. The sanctions do affect the Russian economy. But what does this have anything to do with this story that they just told? It has to do with my last video, right? So they're continuing to tie it. Here we go. The ruble breached 100 rubles per dollar mark on October 2023 amid concerns over slowing economic growth and rising inflation. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. To talk about inflation and slowing economy, that makes sense to me, guys. And we're not going to be the type of people who say, hey, no, it doesn't. Russia doesn't have a shrinking economy. The inflation is not actually happening. No, yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is happening inside of Russia. But the reason why I'm telling you that the economy is not collapsing is because this is the reality in Russia. We saw the 5 years of the economy. We also saw the beginning of the conflict in Ukraine, and it's been stabilizing itself. So what I want you guys to know is that right now, there is no collapse. Right now is what we've been seeing for so long. And we're going to go back to it one last time. If you're just joining us, this is what we've been doing this entire time. We've been showing you guys what the ruble has been going through since the beginning of the conflict in Ukraine. So the conflict starts somewhere in February here, and then it's at 77 average, and then it spikes up, right? But then the Russian government, even though it was sanctioned already, it began to get more sanctions, and the ruble went down to 134. But what happens is the Russian stabilizes and it goes back down. More sanctions come, and now we're back at to 100. My guess is that it's going to rise even further than 104, but that's just how it works here, guys. And now we're going to take a 2-minute water break. And we're going to calm down. because I feel like I get really, really excited. And I think that kind of ruins my streams when I get really excited or when Vanya breaks my mind. I'm just tired of the narrative of some major channels that talk about Russia so badly. You know, for some reason, it's the ones that bother me the most are the Russian content creators who left Russia and speak so badly about Russia. I don't think the problem is a country. I think the problem is the human being. No matter what location I was ever in my life, I've been in really bad situations, but I've always made a good life for myself. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm a war veteran of the Afghanistan war, and even there I saw a light. So when people stream about Russia being horrible, Russia being so bad, and when they are Russian, it really bothers me. So I guess this is why this channel exists. Let's see. What kind of housing could I get if I had $100,000? You know that one of my favorite content on this channel is showing you guys how much houses cost. If you want to know the best routes to Russia, before I show you house prices, what you can get for 100,000, depending on where in the world you are, this is going to be the best route for you. Right now, if you live anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, like if you live in the United States, if you live on the west side, the best way to Russia is through Turkey still. But there is flights now connecting to Beijing that fly into Russia. Every flight is going to probably take you through Turkey. The best prices right now are currently through Turkey, but I will make a video about this later. Just know that depending on where you are in the world, it's going to be the way you're going to get into Russia. You could still fly in through Serbia, you can still fly in through Georgia, you can still fly in through Kazakhstan, Mongolia, all these different countries, but it depends on where you're flying from, right? Okay, guys, I'm going to show you guys right now. This is one of the best things that I do on this channel is I show you guys what the cost of buying a house is. You know, because with the economy going the way it is right now, I think it's only fair that you guys get to see how much you can get for your money. Now, I will not put 100,000 because the majority of us don't have $100,000. But what I will do is I will show you a house. I will show you a house. And we're going to do it this way. Can you guys see the screen? Before we continue, I'm going to be showing you, we've already talked about the crashing ruble, but just imagine how much you can buy with the crashing ruble right now. Please let me know if you can hear me. Also, let me know where you're watching from if you haven't already. This is Avito. This is where I bought my house. There's many fake advertisements on Avito. There's many fake advertisements in Avito, but you can do that when you're looking for a house, even in America. There's many fake advertisements in their websites as well. I bought mine through Avito, so I'm going to show you through Avito. Here we go. Can everybody see the screen, please? Let me know if the screen is visible, because right now we're going to get into it. So we now know that 100 rubles equals $1. So $1, 1,000, 1,000. Okay, here we go. You guys know I've messed this up before if you've seen me before, by the way. So what I'm going to do, even though it's at exactly 100, I'm going to make sure I don't ruin this. So 5 million rubles is $50,000. That's simple math, but I'm a Marine, remember. I'm a United States Marine. So what we're going to do is right now, we're going to see what we can buy for $50,000 cash. If you had $50,000, you're going to get to see what you can buy in Russia. So $1 to 5 million rubles is $50,000. And you're going to be mind blown right now. Here we go. Hola amigo, hola a todos. So here we go, guys. Right now we're looking at the live feed for houses in Russia. We've put $50,000. I'm going to show you first in my region because I think this is more important for me because this is where I'm from. And hopefully you guys can see this. We're going to go to the city of Irkutsk. Remember, this is $50,000 and we're going to look at something in the normal range, maybe outside the city. Right. First, let me check if the camera's working. Yes, it's working. Hello to everybody watching. So here we go. This is a good advertisement here. We want to find a house that's already finished. Okay, here we go. This is a good one. This is a good one, guys. So for a little bit, this is $47,000, guys. $47,000. Okay, we're looking at an advertisement for $47,000. This is the big city near me, by the way. If you don't know, I live here. I live here in Sludanka, next to Lake Baikal. There's a lot of houses for sale for under $50,000. But if you zoom out, I live in this city of Irkutsk. I mean, I'm close to this. This is the capital of the entire state, Oblast, Irkutsk. So let's see, $47,000. This is what the house looks like outside. The house is obviously already done. This is $50,000. You know the cost of living. I already told you the cost of living. So if you have $50,000, if you sell your house somewhere else and you buy this house for $50,000, then you can live off of maybe like $600 for the rest of your life. So this is $47,000. Here we go. And if you're already used to the weather, this is a really nice place. This is a really sunny part of Russia, by the way. This is the interior. Obviously, the house is not going to be furnished, but it will be finished inside for that price. These are all the different rooms. That's the hallway. The bathroom looks beautiful. Check that bathroom out. I mean, I feel that even in America, if you're for $10,000, only for $10,000, this is the thing that's crazy. Just for $10,000, you would pay to have your bathroom remodeled like that. For 1/5 of the price of a house is the bathroom in the United States. Tell me if I'm wrong or not, guys. That bathroom right there is going to cost you around $10,000. $10,000 for sure. So let's continue. Okay, that's everything. Obviously it has this video here. This is a full walkthrough. Wait, let me show it to you like this. This is going to be a walkthrough of the house. Now they're giving a walkthrough. Remember, this is $47,000. I don't know your guys' budget, but if you already have a house in the West and you're about retirement age, Russia is actually not such a horrible place to retire in. This is why I'm trying to give you guys an example. Now, obviously, the income is less. You see, a lot of people will always talk about the income is less. Guys, in what world do you think that winning like $5,000 a month when you have to pay $4,000 a month for insurances and houses? Like in America, $5,000 a month is very generous, but you're paying thousands for insurance, for your mortgage, for your rent, for your car insurance, for your life insurance, for all your insurances. So don't tell me about, oh, you make less in Russia. I calculated not long ago that a minimum wage job in Russia can still afford you to buy a house. I did all of the calculations, and if you want, I can calculate it again live for you. So anyways, this is in the city of Irkutsk. We're going to be looking at another apartment, guys, another house rather. So if you're enjoying this stream, please do hit like. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have me on your screen. So we're going to be looking at another place. That was $47,000. Let's look at something next to the rivers. No, actually, a lot of people they talk about Vladivostok or Moscow. Let's go to Moscow and see what it looks like outside the capital. So remember, we're talking about $50,000. Obviously, you're not going to be able to buy a house inside the city, but there's many houses for sale on the outskirts here. And because this is Moscow region, you're going to be paying a lot more for a normal house. But there is some pretty sleepy towns with nice houses, for instance, like this one. So this is $46,000 here. This is $46,000, okay? Keep that in mind. This is next to Moscow region, okay? Okay, we'll do Krasnodar next because this is much better weather for you guys. But anyways, pay attention to what we're going to look at right now. You don't need to speak fluent Russian at all to live here. So this is about an hour and a half to 2 hours outside of Moscow, capital of Russia. Okay, this is a nice little sleepy town. Nice little gazebo outside. This looks like a banya, hammock, nice backyard. This is the interior made of wood. Sorry, excuse me. It looks like it has 2 floors. Yes, the roof area is a floor. Let's see how much land it has. So it has 4 sot. It has 400 square meters of land, which is not bad for the location that it's in. Remember, this is right outside of Moscow region. Look at this. It's next to the Domo gee whiz, why can't I read that word? Domodiedovo. Okay. Jesus. It's near the airport there. Moscow is about maybe like an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the traffic. Let's go to Krasnodar region. This region over here next to the Black Sea. See, this area here is really, really favorable because of the weather, guys. Let's go to Krasnodar. Hopefully you guys are still watching. I'm sorry. I really did really hard on that. So if you have a 2 million budget, you can still buy a really nice dacha where you can live. So we're going to be looking at the most favorable weathered place and see what we can get for 5 million rubles. Let's put the filter on here so that we don't have to worry about it. So here we go. Now I'm only going to be showing the better ones because I know a lot of you guys are used to Western houses, but actually the Russian houses are much different. They're built different. They look different. So this one, for instance, right? This is in Krasnodar. This is $43,000. The weather here is like Mediterranean, okay? If anybody is thinking about moving to Russia and they don't like the cold, this is what the kind of weather that you want. This is Mediterranean weather. This is a typical Russian house in a typical Russian village or town. Okay, so let's take a look at it. It's a brick house. It looks to be like on a main street. This is the interior. Not too bad, not too shabby. Has everything you need. This is a typical Russian house. I promise you, this is exactly what the majority of the houses look in Russia. They are fixer-uppers unless you buy a new house in a region further away from the capital, right? So this is $43,000 in a really warm area of Russia. but that is not where you're going to get your bargains. Guys, if you're watching me from Canada and you're used to the weather, believe me, the best choice for you is to go to a place like Siberia. In Siberia, if you're used to the weather, in cold, you're gonna love it because in Siberia, it's actually very sunny and you're already used to the cold. And for a very low amount of money, you can buy a huge house. Okay? So does anybody have another city they want me to check in? Please comment a region in Russia that you want me to check in on, and I promise you we can go look at it right now. Yeah, if you're interested in me looking at housing in a particular city. Because actually, I know a lot of people did different weathers and stuff like this. Okay, Tumen is close to me. Let's see this. Let me go look for it. While we look for it, guys, can you guys tell me what your guys' budget is as well? Please let me know your guys' budget. I'm interested in knowing what the average number is for people's budget. So when I make a new video in the future, I can kind of gear it towards whatever you guys need, right? Because I want to know what the majority of your guys' budget is. I know a lot of people perhaps don't have a lot of money to spend right now, but if your budget is like 10,000, 20,000, I can definitely find houses for you guys in a future video. It's not out of the realm of possibility to find a house for that amount of money. So it's close to Yekaterinburg, right? It's pretty far out there. Actually, I thought it was closer, so I lied to myself. It's just Russia is so massive. Here we are, found it. Okay, we're going to be looking at actually not only that area, but there's a lot of places that have favorable prices. So I'll keep in mind the amount of money, like your guys' budget. That way we can look in the future together and I will make a full video on it. So here we go. This is the city that he said. He's like Tyumen. And we will be looking at what you can get there for about $50,000. Now, this place should have better quality homes. Look at that. Already we're looking at something better. Not that one. That guy's asking for way too much. Oh, I forgot that Tyumen is actually an older town. So the better shot is to do it outside, where they've already built something new. Like this. This is something new. The best shot for you guys is to buy a house that's brand new, freshly built. This is not a big house, but look at that yard, right? It's maintained. It's in a nice neighborhood. Tyumen has favorable weather as well. Interior is wood. Essentially, it's for somebody who's retired and wants to live alone. So I don't like that house, but it is for $50,000. Now let's go look outside of the city. For older settlements like these guys, it's really hard to find a modern house. But regions like the one I live in is really good. Like Irkutsk is really good. So here's a house, typical Russian house again. $50,000. Yeah, sorry. For me, it doesn't make sense to move for $50,000 to a place like that. For me, I think $50,000, you get more bang for your buck somewhere in Siberia, like Krasnoyarsk, Irkutsk. Look at back in Irkutsk. Look at these houses that are built, right? Look, just for an example, these are the type of houses that you're going to find in Siberia for $50,000. Look at that beautiful bathroom. This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. If your budget is $50,000 and you already know cold weather, move to Irkutsk. I'm in Irkutsk Oblast. I live in Slyudanka. Can you show us a tiny house, please? Okay, Vanya, no problem, brother. Although it's very hard to find a tiny house. So I guess what you want me to find is a dacha. I'll find you a dacha, I promise. And I'll find it to you in my hometown, Vanya. If you want to be my neighbor, here we go. Let's look what we can find in my hometown. A tiny house is really hard to find. Not bad. This one's not bad. So for Vanya, when he means tiny house, we don't have tiny houses in Russia unless you're in an apartment. A tiny house would be a dacha house, something like this. No, that's only one photo. That's sad. Okay, here we go. This is perfect. So if you want to know what you can find, this is a tiny house, right? This is a typical Soviet era, like really old, traditional Russian house. This is what they look like. They're made of wood. These are wooden structures. These are cabins to the Western world, but they are small houses. Compared to the Western world, wooden houses made from, you see that? I guess, Vanya, that's what you would call a tiny house, because that is just how it is in Russia. These are smaller houses. This is 2 stories, but it has its land. It's really hard for me to find a tiny house. They don't exist. They're just dachas. Look, here's another example. This is the most normal looking Russian house here. You have your land and you have your house. That's why there's not a lot of photos, guys. If you're interested in buying a dacha, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be a house that's made of wood and it's going to be land. Okay? So we've really gone off from talking about the economy, the ruble. My face is still really, really hurting from Vanya's surprise. So now I guess what I want to do is just answer your guys' last questions, and I want you to know that I really, really appreciate you guys. There is going to be a new video tonight about this topic. It's going to be talking about the same things, but it's going to be in shorter form. Dachas here in Russia, you can buy for about 30,000 to 50,000. Like you just saw, 50,000 is the high end. But for $40,000, you can buy a nice dacha with a nice amount of land. Also, it depends on what region, obviously, guys. Russia is almost twice the size of Canada, a long ways. So remember how big Canada is. Yes. So please ask me any questions. Oh, Banya, you would have to get that done here, and I think you can build it for much less. I right now made a video, by the way, brother. Here, I'll show you. Actually, it's my YouTube. I can do it. I got so scared that I would get copyrighted if I showed you guys this, but it's my video. Okay, guys, tell me if you guys can see this. I recently made a video about this. I'm so happy I can show you. Check this out. Okay, here we go. So I made this video, guys, and he's asking about tiny homes that you can put on a trailer. But what I want to show you is that you can actually build it yourself or have it built for you, Vanya. And this is my proof. Bring you to the shores of Lake Baikal. I have a great friend, Alexei, who has invited us and is willing to give us full access to this new building site. You're going to see the prices. You're going to see how much it costs. And let me tell you, 7 meters by... So on this video here, brother, on this video, I don't know, hopefully the you can see. On this video, I talked about these 3 modules. They were bought for $17,000. What you're seeing there, and they were already fully built inside. I'll show you inside when I was inside. If you missed this video, you guys can watch it. It's a video of me talking about modules inside. So you have to imagine when this one is done, it had already the windows, the walls, the electricity, everything was already built in, the plumbing. So you can have that kind of stuff already in Russia. Vanya, hopefully this answers your question. This here costs $17,000. Okay, what you're watching on the screen, these modules in the back were $17,000 with the windows, with the plumbing, with the electricity, with the drywall already installed. So if you want to tow something like this, you could totally put it on a trailer and live outside on the trailer on this house. And all 3 of those cost $17,000. So that gives you an idea of how much you're actually going to be paying for. Hopefully that answers your question, brother. And if you guys haven't watched that video, it's one of my most recent videos. I go and I show you the process, how much everything costs for those buildings. People want to know what I do for work. Well, I do YouTube and I also teach English, and I'm working on getting my work visa. So I got offered a job at the University of Irkutsk to be a professor of linguistics professor. Another breaking news that I wasn't ready to tell you guys, but because you guys are here, you guys heard it first. I was offered a job in the University of Irkutsk for linguistics, and essentially what I'm trying to do is build my reputation and my working experience here in Russia through language and organization. So that's my answer to you. So do we have any moderators like this? The people who speak so bad about Russia usually are bots, because you would have to be very uncultured and you would have to lack intelligence to be brainwashed that hard. Vanya, you are a moderator. You can set these people to timeout, by the way, brother. I don't know if you could do it right now, but you can definitely, if you see people acting crazy, you can definitely go on there and put people off. This is the funniest thing. This is the funniest thing. And before we get off, this is the funniest thing. You have clowns like this who are talking about me disrespecting the U.S. Army. I was never in the Army, buddy. So I wouldn't care about the American Army. I was never a soldier. I'm a proud United States Marine, you clown. Let's see, how do we do this? Yes, we will add another moderator here, but please be kind, guys. The words don't bother me, like I'm not offended by what he's saying. It's just what's offensive is when he continues to say the same thing, right? When you continue to say the same thing and make it almost spam-like, you become a robot. And he has the intelligence of a fish, but with the hands and the abilities of a robot. This means that he could spam ridiculous things. His intelligence is not so high, but his productivity is very high. So he can just continue to write a bunch of crazy things. And the classic robot will say the same dumb things. You had charges against you. I've been back to the United States since I've moved to Russia, and I'm an honorably discharged Marine. And I am so proud to be American because America gave my mom the life that she has. And I do not bite the hand that feeds me. And I know it bothers people like him who voted for Kamala Harris and who voted for Joe Biden. It's always those people who cry the most. And I laugh about this. You guys maybe don't like when I talk about these people who say dumb things, but it just takes the power away from them. It's the best thing. It's the best thing when clowns like this get silenced. Zenith, it's this William Molloy, this robot. You can ban him now. You can mute him now. It's just he's a clown. He's a clown. I don't first of all, I respect the army, but don't ever confuse me with a soldier, boy. You're not getting banned or muted right now because you talked bad about Russia. You're getting banned and muted because you confused me with a soldier. No disrespect with the United States Army, but I'm a proud United States Marine, you clown. So, Dan, how's the fishing and hunting in your area? Good eating? Okay, so Mute asks a very good question here, and I will be adding moderators right now because we do need them, and it does get a little bit crazy sometimes. So we're going to be adding our brothers and sisters here who have been with the channel for quite a while. And let me just finish this. So the point I wanted to make, guys, about the hunting and the fishing, the question was asked. You don't need a fishing license here in Russia. Actually, I'm going ice fishing tomorrow. I'm going ice fishing tomorrow, and hunting, you do need a hunting license. You do need a weapons permit, but I think there is companies that will take you hunting in Russia. You do need to be a Russian citizen to own a gun in Russia, but fishing, that's not a problem. What is one of the most important things that you guys care about when you're watching from the United States is weapons. That is the majority of your guys' questions about, can I own a gun? You can't if you're not a citizen. It's the same in the United States. Do people in your town think you're Siberian? 100% of the time, everybody thinks I'm Russian here. They usually think I'm ethnically Tartar or, yes, Siberian. So usually people think I'm Siberian or Tartar. Yeah, that's how it is, guys. What is the thing about being Mexican genetically, like what makes up a Mexican, is European blood with Native American blood. So I do look somewhat European, like maybe Italian. I look Spaniard 100%. I have a lot of Spanish blood inside of me, but that's just how it is, guys. Is there any other questions? Because I do have to leave in about 10 minutes because Ksenia's father's birthday is today. Vanya, thank you so much for the donations. Vanya, you know you're welcome in this apartment. My house is your house. If you guys want to donate in the future, donate through the PayPal that is going to be always now linked down below. I do appreciate your support. And yeah, that's how it is. I don't think that Siberia would make a good... Siberia doesn't make a good country by itself, guys. You have to come to Siberia to understand that the Buryat people are not the same people in Tuva. They're not the same people that are in Yakutsk. Siberia itself has so many people, right? When Russia expands into Siberia, it doesn't colonize it. This is not a colonized area. The majority of the people in Buryatia are Buryat people. So it's not colonized by Russians, ethnic Slavic Russians. Buryatia is ethnically and colonized by its own people. So that's how it works. Russia is a federation. It's not the United States of America where they're all having to answer to the government, right? Right now, the government in the United States, the 50 states, are bound. They're already tried a civil war. It's not going to work. Russia is a federation and it works much better this way. They have autonomy in many places and it's much better that way. The weather here in Siberia is wonderful, guys. We have so much sun in this region. Let's see how many days of sun actually we get in Irkutsk. One second. I'm going to show you guys something really, really interesting. Because I was told actually that there was a few Siberian cities who get more sunshine than the rest. Russia here in Siberia. Oh, I'm gonna have to pop this up later, guys. I'm gonna have to pop it up later. Yeah, thank you so much. No, the people who are usually mods are people who've been with the channel for a long time. And honestly, if you trust me enough to donate, I'm not saying you buy moderator status, but if you trust me enough to watch and donate and have a kind heart, then I trust you to moderate what's being said on the chat. Sometimes you have over 100 people and it does get a little bit crazy. So before I log off, I guess I want to show you maybe a few more things because I do have to go soon. So I want to show the people the weather outside one more time. This is what the weather is looking like. It's really sunny. No snow coming from the sky. You can tell there's no clouds. And this is what we have here for the majority of the summer. This is what the weather looks like. This is the weather in Siberian Russia, in the region where I live in. You're going to have snow coming through some days, and then you're just going to have clean blue skies. I want to log off by saying that I appreciate your guys' support. If you want to visit Russia, join my Telegram channel, The Russian Experience. It's also linked down below, guys. We have a channel where you can ask anything from me. You get to contact me directly, but you also get in contact with other people who love Russia, other people who visit Russia, other people who are doing their visas through Russia, and there's so much experience that you can gain from joining the Russian Experience. Remember that Russia is not the same for everyone. What you see in my channel is not what you're going to see in other people's channel, but we have to respect each other's environments, and I just happen to be the kind of person who is obviously very welcoming of people. So if you ever visit Russia and you want to see Lake Baikal, I promise you I will be a tour guide for you. I have my own land and I'm building a house with my wife. We're going to have a house here. If you want to see the largest lake in the world, or if you want to see the Paris of Siberia, which is Irkutsk, I will welcome you with open arms. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Vanya, please join the Telegram channel if you haven't already. Message